What is the place of right action in one's quest for self-knowledge? What is the place of right action in one's quest for self-knowledge? Let us look at these words first. Right, action, and self-knowledge. What do we mean by right? Right is to be precise, accurate, and correct. Like if you are building a bridge, it must be mathematically, engineering, the stress and the strain of the steel and so on. It must be accurate according to measurement, to weight, and all the rest of it. And it must be also in proportion. It must be balanced, right? It must have a sense of harmony. That is the meaning of that word is right. And what do we mean by action? Action is the doing, not having done or I will do. Action is taking place now. You understand? Not acting according to past memories, past intentions, or acting according to a principle. I wonder if you're following all this. According to a concept, according to a projected opinion. So action means really the doing now, right? And the word self-knowledge, that is to know oneself, which is a very complex business. Now, right action is freedom from the past, listen carefully, and not projecting the future and acting according to the future. The word act means the doing not according to some principle, to some pattern, to some ideation. Is that possible? You understand? That is right action. But we are so conditioned by tradition, by education, by our own selfish motives, that we translate action according to convenience, according to environmental influence. So is there an action which is totally free from all this? That is right action. I don't know if you're following all this. Because in that right action, there is no regret, no guilt, no sense of fulfillment. It is free from essentially the self. That is right action. If that right, when there is right action, it's right action under all circumstances. Whether one lives in Europe or America or Asia, it's right action wherever you are, which doesn't depend on circumstances. Right? You know what that means? One must have tremendous strength. Not courage, strength. Like a rock, immovable. Because that's right action. Can you do it? Can we live such a life of strength? Not feeble and, messy life. And self-knowledge. The word to know, the word, what does it mean to know? Please, this is important to understand. When I say I know my wife. You understand? What do we mean by that word know? Let's think it out, sir. Is it knowledge? When I say I know my father, I know my mother, my wife, my children. Is that so? You say, when I say I know my wife, what do I know? I don't know her. But I have assumed certain tendencies. You follow? I've collected few data about her. Like a computer collects some data. And then I say I know. But I really don't know her. Because it's a living thing. As I am a living thing, I can never know a living thing. I can know a dead thing. I wonder if you understand. No? I can only know that which has already happened. But a living thing, a living water, a flowing water, a stream that is, a river that is rushing by, I can't say I know. I am watching it. I enjoy the beauty of the water. You understand? I look at the water, delight in the movement of the water. But moment I say I know, I have stopped learning. Do you understand? I wonder if you follow all this.
It's a memory.
Yes, sir.
Memory of
Yeah.
things that pass.
Therefore, the cultivation of memory is not learning. I wonder if you see the distinction. Right? I go to a school, college, university, and I have accumulated a great deal of information that has become my knowledge, which I use skillfully to earn a livelihood or unskillfully. Right? Moment have accumulated a great deal of information and act according to that information, according to that knowledge, my skill is limited. But if I am learning all the time, like a carpenter, he's learning all the time, if he's master carpenter, like a top engineer, he's learning, not saying I know and I'll act according to that. You follow all this? Now, can I know myself? No. That is, I have learnt, I have seen, I have been aware that I am angry. Right? That's part of my being. That's part of being. I am aware that I am angry. Why do I use the word anger? Think it, let's work it out, sir. Why do I use the word anger? Because I have been told, I have been educated, I've accepted that word, and I remember the previous angers which have, you follow, which have been named. So when there is a new reaction of anger, of that emotion, I name it. So what have I done? You're following all this? Oh Lord. Are you interested in all this? I'm angry. Let's go back step by step. The anger is not different from me. I am anger. I like to think it is different from me because I can control it, I can rationalize it, but it's part of me. That's a fact. And I have named it as anger because that's part of my tradition, part of my inheritance, all that. The word has become important, not the feeling. You see it? So, there's been anger at other times in the past. So, I recognize this feeling which has risen now as anger by the remembrance of the past. So, am I capable of looking at that new emotion without the word, without recognizing it as the past? You understand? I wonder if you see this. It requires a great deal of observation. That is, we're always living in the past. Right? That's so obvious. And the past is a series of memories which are words, symbols. And with that, a new reaction takes place, and I immediately name it. Which means I brought it back into the old tradition. Whereas if I could look at that reaction, the new reaction, without the word, you understand? And without saying, I know it's anger. So that you meet every reaction afresh. I wonder if you see this. That means your brain is extraordinarily alive, sensitive, not just caught in the old repetition. Right? Will you do that? That is to be aware of this whole movement of some reaction, naming it. The very naming of it is to strengthen the part. And so You are strengthening anger by repetition of the word. Clear? Now, the ancient Greeks and the ancient Hindus have talked about self-knowledge, knowing oneself. That is, I want to know myself. Because if I don't know myself, I'm just a leaf in the wind. So I have to learn about myself. Not according to some psychologist, some philosopher, or from some book, whether you call it sacred or not, it's just a book. So, can I dispense with all that? The authority of what other people have said about me, the tradition which I follow, put aside completely all that. Because what they tell me, I am not. I wonder if you see all this. I have to discover myself. Myself is a living thing. So I have to learn. Now, I have seen I'm angry, or I've had one experience, whatever it is, an experience. It has been recorded in the brain, which has become the memory. With that memory, I examine myself. You're following it. So, the past is examining myself. But I am the past. I wonder if you see all this. So is there of looking at myself as though for the first time. Not with jaded memories, not with previous knowledge which I have learnt about myself. That is, to learn about myself anew. Because I'm a living thing, not a dead thing. You may be dead. Because we're all so caught up in memories, which is dead. Tradition is dead. So it becomes extraordinarily interesting, vital, energizing. If you can look at that tree as though for the first time, at your wife for the first time, and at your reactions, your sensations, not name them, which is to catch it in the net of the old, so that you, every time it is new. You understand this? Do it, sirs. Don't agree with the speaker. You will see what extraordinary vitality one has. Not to do mischief. That you have anyhow. But the energy that has an extraordinary quality of freshness, of something totally new. Heard? Why are we not capable of doing it? Because you don't want to. So, How many hours of the day do you spend in an office or in a factory? Or how many years you have spent to learn a skill, to become a BA, MA, PhD, just adding alphabets after your name? How many years? And this requires not one day. You have to be so tremendously aware all the time, watching the trees, the moon, the birds, and watching yourself like a hawk, to see not one thought escapes. How much time will you give to that? Or you make your own time, or you deny time.